Hey everybody, Mike P here from the Audio Owl. Today we're going to take a look at some shortcuts in Ableton Live 11. Let's go. Alright, so first we're going to start with some automation shortcuts. So the first one, to tap into your automation lanes, you just want to hit the A key and you'll see the automation lines come up. Now let's take a look at some shortcuts. So let's draw in some temporary automation here. We'll just do quick fade down, just like that. So there we go. Now let's say we want this to drop down much quicker and then kind of taper off towards that bottom breakpoint really slowly. So if you hold your Option key, you'll see this curve appear beside the cursor. That allows you to bend this like so. That's kind of cool. So let's say we want to drop down quick at the start and then taper slowly. Now with this side, maybe we want to quick rise up and then slowly up to the final value there. So that's adding curves to your automation lines. Now let's say we set this one at -11, but we want it to be -6. So you can right click on it and go to Edit Value, type in -6, hit Enter, and away you go. You can do this for new breakpoints too. So once you hover over your automation envelope, you'll see the plus sign appear next to your cursor, and right click, hit Add Value, and then type in the value you want to set the breakpoint at, and there you go, new breakpoint at that value. Another cool thing is adding predefined curves. So if we select a section of this audio clip here, we can add a curve to this just by right clicking and going down here. You'll see all these cool shapes. This one's a sine wave. You got a triangle, there's a down ramp. This one's ADSR, which is pretty cool. Nice little taper up. So that's pretty neat. Now, let's say you like to draw in your own automation. So if you tap the B button, you'll come into draw mode. So you can just, let's try and copy this curve with draw mode. There, so it worked, but it's not that nice. So if you want to bypass the grid in this situation to help with a nice curved drawing, you can just hold the Command button and then try and draw it again. So we're going down, a little too far there, but up, and then over. Boom. So still not that pretty, but it works in a pinch. Another cool thing, and I actually just recently found this out, you can morph your automation envelope. So see these little squares in the corners in the middle that pop up? If you click on them and drag them, like so, you can actually move that automation envelope around. There, so you can make it longer, shorter, drag it all the way up to here, push that up some. And then if you want to select other sections like this, you can even mangle that envelope a little further. All right, so we're going to take a look at some of the shortcuts for working with clips in Ableton. The first one we're going to do is inserting a MIDI clip. So first you're going to want to highlight the section that you want to add the MIDI clip to, and then press Command, Shift, and M. And boom, new MIDI clip. So that's pretty easy. If you want to split clips, let's go down to these audio ones here and just do some splitting. That's another one, that's Command E. So if you select a section here on this wave or on this clip, press Command E. We can break it into multiple waveforms here. So let's say we want to isolate this little transient here. Well, maybe we'll isolate this bit, just those double notes. You can just hit Command E and you'll, wherever your cursor is, and it will split it up for you. Now let's say we want to consolidate all those back into one clip. We can do that with the Consolidate shortcut, which is Control or Command J. And we're back and consolidated. So sometimes you're going to want to reverse clips. I used to go into the actual clip down here and try to find the reverse every time, but that always took way too long. So then I looked this up, and if you just tap R, you'll load the reverse clip. Tap it again, it'll go back to forwards. Then if you're working and you want to test your track without a certain clip in there, you can deactivate it quickly by pressing 0, and that'll deactivate the clip. Also works on the numpad, if you have one. When you're working in automation mode, you notice the fades on the audio clips disappear. So let's say you want to pull those up and adjust them. You can just tap and hold the F key, and then you can adjust your fades. That way you can stay in automation mode and you don't have to switch back and forth just to adjust your fades. And lastly, for clips, another cool one. Normally when you stretch a clip, you stretch out the actual audio and it just kind of extends or shortens the clip. But let's say you have an audio clip that you want to stretch and put into stretch into a space in your track. So if you hold Shift, you'll see this icon, and that'll actually stretch that audio for you, and you can just stretch it to fit, just like that. All right, let's look at some shortcuts for the piano roll. Let's get into this. Quick one, if you want to extend some notes, let's say you want to add that, or add an 8th note to that, quarter note, just hold Shift and tap the arrow keys. You can extend or shorten the notes. If you want to transpose an octave, this one's really fun. You hold Shift again and pressing up or down on your arrow keys will shift it up or down an octave. Same pitch, but different octave. Quantization shortcuts, Command U. So you can select a note or a group of notes like this and press Command U, and it will quantize them to the grid here. Now let's say you want to adjust the settings, maybe quantize them to 8th notes instead of quarter notes. Command Shift U will do that for you. You can set it up here. These will already be there, so you know what, let's just for demonstration purposes, we'll move these around a little bit. Totally ruining the melody on this, but it doesn't matter. All right, let's stretch these to 16th notes. And the amount here is super cool. It's just a percentage of how close you want your quantization to be. So if you hit OK, that one only moved the one because only that was selected, but let's do all of them. Boom, you can see them all shift there. So that's opening quantization settings and quantizing with shortcuts. Moving notes around is actually really easy with shortcuts too. If you just highlight your note and tap up or down, you can move your note up or down in the keys or in your notes. And if you want to move it around your timeline, just keep tapping left to right, and you can choose the grid space that you want to be on. Now, if you're stuck on this grid here and you don't want to be, you don't want your note to fall exactly on that grid, you can hold Command. Let's see if I move here, it snaps to the grid, but if you hold Command, it gets rid of that grid and you can actually place the note wherever you need to. And the last one here, if you want to adjust the velocity, hold Command again, you see this cursor pop up, the up and down arrows. You can click on the note and drag up, and you'll see the velocity start to go up or down. And then you can set it where you want to. You can do this for multiple notes too. Hold Command and drag up or down. You can see you push them all there. All right, lastly, we're gonna take a look at some shortcuts for working with tracks in Ableton Live. Let's say we wanna add a new audio track to this mix. You're gonna hit Command and T. That'll drop a new audio track in. If you wanna do a new MIDI track, Command Shift and T. We'll add the new MIDI track. And for return tracks, if you want to add one of those, it's Command Option T. Oops, Command Option T. And you'll see the new return track pop in there. Now to group these tracks all together, just hit Shift and select all of these, and then hit Command G, and now you have your drum group. So since these are all drums, let's rename them. We'll start up top here. And this will be our drum group. Now, if we want to go back and rename the track underneath it, we just hit tab, and that cycles us down to the next track so we can rename it. So this will be drum 1, tab again, drum 2, tab again, and drum 3. Right on. All right, now what I want to do is I want to hear all 3 of these tracks together. So to do that, let's select them all. If we hold Command, we can select them all. The same goes with arming the tracks as well. If you hold Command, if you don't hold Command, you'll just click and cycle through arming each one individually. But when you hold Command, you can select them all. So now we'll be able to record MIDI and audio to all 3 of these tracks at the same time. Last trick here. See, now if we look at all the tracks right now, we can see that we can't see everything. So let's say we want to quickly look at the whole session together. If you tap H, that will adjust the height of all the tracks to be equal and so they all fit within your session view. And if you tap W, that will adjust the width so the whole width of the song is visible in session view. And that's it. Thanks for watching.